Hey there, it's Veronica Valley again, day 4 of 10 sober truth bombs. And just give me a second to just get this set up and switched over into my Facebook group and then on Instagram. There we go. Again, day 4 Share to group. Truth bombs. And just give me a second. So when I do these lives, I like to do them on multiple platforms just because I can reach more people then. So hello, Instagram people. Okay. Whoops. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So 10 sober truth bombs, day 4. And today is a big one. Resentments are like weeds in our minds. Our job is to pluck them out. That is a sober truth bomb. What is a sober truth bomb? A sober truth bomb is just when it goes off in front of you, you can't ignore it. These are the 10 truth bombs that I'm going to be going over the next 10 days. This is the 4th day. They're just things you have to know if you want to have successful, awesome sobriety. You just have to know these things. And I'll repeat it again. Alcohol's not our problem. It's a symptom of our problem. How we think and how we feel is really our problem. And resentments are probably the way that these get this kind of dysfunctional thinking gets presented. So resentments, it's a word that's often used in AA language, and in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says resentments are the #1 offender. And I think that's really true. There's another expression that I hear a lot. Having a resentment is like drinking poison and wanting the other person to die. Now really think about that, because resentments are what we rent space to in our heads. And resentments are not a good thing. Resentments are when we just feel that we've been hard done by or abused or something's not fair, all of that kind of stuff. Now, the reason that resentments really take root and bother us so much is because we interpret everything personally. What people say and what people do, we interpret that personally. Now, most of the time we can just go through our day and those things don't affect us, but once in a while somebody will say or do something and it will just rent space in our head. So this happened to me the other day. I had an email exchange with somebody and I canceled a meeting. I wanted to reschedule it, and they didn't want to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, the reason I know it's a resentment and it's renting space in my head and it's like a little weed is I just kept going over it. And you know what I kept going over in my head? Like, don't they know who I am? Like, don't they know that I'm a nice person, that I wasn't trying to be offensive or whatever? And it just kept bothering me and bothering me. For 2 days, I let this go on before I dealt with it. And this is why we have to deal with it. This is why they are weeds in our thinking, is I need that space back. I have far more valuable and interesting things to give my bandwidth and brain power to than going over what this person may or may not think about me or whatever. So that's how we have to deal with this. But to get to the root of them, we have to go through a process till we get to the point where we can see and feel this wasn't personal. This just wasn't personal. That's how we're able to let go of resentments. Now, we have to deal with them because resentments can and will lead to drinking. I've seen this happen so many times. Because you think about it, like, I don't know, imagine it's a big one, not just like the email exchange that I told you about. Like, I don't know, your boss said something to you about your work and you're just like fuming, or your partner or whatever, and you're just consumed with it. What happens is that just becomes intolerable. That just becomes intolerable. You know, I can't believe, we feel hurt. There's a self-righteousness about it. And eventually we get what I call, and excuse my language, the fuck it's, where we just go, fuck it. And having a drink will relieve it. It's like, temporarily it will relieve it. And then when we wake up the next morning, everything's still exactly the same as it was, except it's worse because we have a hangover and may have done something to just embarrass ourselves or make it worse. So we have to deal with resentments. It's part of the sober journey, and you have to learn these tools. You have to. You know, if you've seen that show, I just finished on the HBO called Big Little Lies with Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon's character, I really liked her. She had a little phrase in the first season where she said, "I love my grudges. I tend to them like little pets." And as soon as I heard that, I thought, yes, that's exactly what having a resentment is like. There's almost something seductive about it. Like, just pay attention to how much energy you give it. Just the, you know, going over and over the story, and you may tell people over and over what happened to you. These are weeds in our minds. These are not good things. So there is a seduction to them, and I've noticed that. There is part of me wants to kind of hold on to them because there's a self-righteousness about them. So I have several processes that I teach clients to be able to deal with the stuff, because I don't have that switch in my brain where I can just let go of stuff and be like, oh, I love everyone, and of course I'm not offended, and it's all wonderful. No, I don't have that. I have to have a process where it takes me on this little journey where I can get to this different feeling place where I feel differently about whatever it is that happened, and then it's gone, and I get my brain space back. So what I want you to think about is, what resentments have you held on to, and how do you hold on to them? Do you tell the story over and over in your mind? Do you tell other people the story? Because if you have an alcohol problem, I'm going to tell you that's really dangerous, and there is a way to deal with it, because you deserve better. You deserve all of your brain power back and space in your head. I will be back tomorrow with the next Sober Truth Bomb. It's a good one. You don't want to miss it. You can check out all of the videos in my stories or in Facebook in the video section on my Facebook page, Veronica Valley Soberful. I have a women's group coaching program that is starting at the end of August. If you are a woman and you are ready to do this work and transform your life from one of sobriety that's just not going where you want it to go to something incredible, that's what I do. That's my job. That's my superpower, is I take people from where they are and get them to a better place. Then book a call with me and you can apply, and we can speak about what would be the best fit for you. And that's starting in a couple of weeks. And it's a very, very, very small group. It's going to be very intimate. It's going to be group calls and personal calls. And it's going to be a really nice, safe container for you to grow and really transform it. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.